My friends, welcome. The strikes on Fujairah imply not just the resumption of hostilities in the Middle East, but also the closure, effectively, of the only other route for oil to get out of the Middle East, next to, of course, the Strait of Hormuz, which remains closed and looks like it will remain that way. It would seem then that we have passed the point of no return on this energy crisis and global depression and the food crisis that stems from these. Only upon reflection, there really never was a point at which we were going to return from this, because it was a plan that was decades in the making. And this becomes obvious when you look at the investments and the preparations of the elites themselves. And what's also interesting is, whereas during World War II, governments were encouraging their populations to grow victory gardens because it was in their interest then to have a self-sufficient population to keep the war machine running, this time is different. This time, they don't want you to have a garden. They don't even want you to know what's going on right now and how bad it's going to get. Because the goal this time is your complete subservience. They want everyone to come and need their digital ID to get their food rations and eat by virtue of and from the technate. Let's talk about this tonight. I'm Christian, and you can find me at unshadowed.org. And as this is now resuming in the Middle East, you have mainstream economists like Steve Hanke saying what I said 2 months ago, at the beginning of March, which is that they're going to be, as a result of this dramatic destruction of the supply of oil, energy lockdowns, or climate lockdowns, if you will, and that the only way to deal with this level of destruction of the supply, to create that amount of demand destruction, is effectively to shut down the world. Or in his words,
we have to destroy a lot of demand, and the reason we have to do that, we'll be running out of inventory. There won't be any more inventory to draw.
And how would they destroy demand for something like this, something as necessary as fuel?
Well, it's very easy. You have a worldwide depression. You shut the factories.
Shut down the factories, global depression. So what does that mean? And why is it then that when you look back at the last few years, both in advance, well in advance of the situation in Iran, you have world leaders like former IMF head Christine Lagarde saying Europe needs to brace for a rough future and position itself as a wartime economy. You've had Macron loudly beating that drum, saying multiple times, we need to prepare Europe for a wartime economy. And I want to stress, I'll zoom in here, I want to stress this was 2022. that Macron began saying wartime economy. He said that many times over the years, again in 2025 here. Even Trump has been saying he's a wartime president, and then just a few weeks ago said, we don't even need to worry about daycare or Medicare or Medicaid. No, we're at war right now. We got to take care of one thing, and that's military protection.